sense walking down when you can slide.
What's with Canada? We got great big cities, but a lot of trees and rocks. Yeah, the winter's cold here. Wear 2 pairs of socks. There's half the world's fresh water to paddle your canoe or camp along the shore.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Gerald, and this is Trekking with Kaz. Today we are headed to Fort George Canyon. This is a historic site and one of Prince George's little gems. With the low water this year, it looks substantially different than it usually does at this time of year. You can walk all the islands out there, which is normally something you do in November at low water. So it looks pretty special right now to be out there. At the conclusion of this video, we'll put some pictures up from previous years and previous types of conditions, winter, fall, and summer. You will find complete directions to get there inside of the video itself. Okay, let's get on with the video. Today we are headed out to Fort George Canyon, and for those people that don't know where it is, I'm going to give you a few directions. You head west from town and you will turn left here at Blackwater Road, and then I'll highlight the next main intersection. Okay, this is the next trail marker. It's the West Lake turnoff. You turn left onto West Lake Road. You will know when you get there, there's a RV park on the right called West Lake RV Park, I believe. So this is where you'll turn left. When you get to the West Lake recreational site, you'll see it here. You'll see the lake. You carry on West Lake Road around the lake. As you're driving down the paved road around the lake, it'll eventually turn to gravel, and there will be a sign right there telling you Fort George Canyon, 5 kilometers. So don't fear, you're going the right way. When you see this sign, you'll be turning on the right road. It's left here. Used to be some better signage here, but it's the direction we'll go, and you'll know you're going the right way. We'll show you a few other things to look at along the way so you're going the right way. Get up the road a ways, there's this memorial block here, and you'll know you're on the right road. Okay, we're at the Fort George Canyon trailhead now, and we'll head down, hopefully get all the way to the pin and mark that out for you. Right near the beginning, you'll go through these steel poles and cross this bridge to get started on the trails. This little trail that you'll come to at the clearing goes to the highest point of the land, and from it you can see down into the clearings, see the animals around, see the valley, see some of the ridges in the distance. It's a bit of a lookout. Some of the walkways constructed over the wet sections here, constructed by the Caledonian Ramblers. So shout out to the Ramblers for making this a little more accessible for us all. Back into the timber again. Very nice part of the trail. Some more of the older walkways over the wet sections. It's not so wet in here as we have a dry year, but in the spring years ago it used to be pretty muddy down here. It's more walkway that's been built recently by the Ramblers over another section that's usually very wet, and then some of the old walkway that was already established years ago here. Along the way you will find these signs telling you about some of the other trails that at least used to exist. Not sure if they all exist anymore or not, but there it is. As you can see, for April, this trail is very dry. Ready for people to be on it, that's for sure. And I know there's some people out there right now. I see their vehicles in the parking lot. Just arriving at this bench at the top of the hill. Great place to sit.
Used to have an unhindered view of the valley below, but as you can tell, Mother Nature has helped the trees grow again. But you can still see through the trees a bit, see what the valley looks like, and that's where we'll be headed in a couple minutes, is right down there. That's a little bit of what goes on here. Drop down to the river, bit of a hill, nothing too serious. But it slowly works its way right down to the river's edge. Oftentimes see game off here, generally moose. See the odd bear in here. Here we are at the provincial park boundary. So we're getting pretty close to the river, but just something to note here. When you get down this little gully to the bottom, you'll have your first access to the river down there. And then we will carry on another kilometer to the next access, which includes the pin for the stern wheelers. Starting to bust out, you can see some of the islands. You can see that there's a whole lot of gravel beach down there. And generally this time of year, the water's right over to the banks. But being such a low year, you can get out there. So we'll have a little luck. It's crazy to look at this. You never see this time of year. You need to go into November before you can usually walk across here to these islands. But this year with the water so low, you can walk all the islands. Isn't that something? If you carry on along the river here, go down for a while and have a look at that, but then carry along this trail that's just on the escarpment here. It'll take you all the way down to where the pin for the stern wheeler is. Definitely is an odd year to see these islands so high and dry. So they're so big because usually the water's so far up them. Bit of a view back. A little better view what the canyon looks like this year in April 19th. Wow. Now this is the end of the trail. Imagine the stern wheelers working their way up through this water to get up to Prince George, Fort George in those days. Another thing that you never see this time of year, and that's that sandy beach. They actually have pictures where the water is, I don't know, maybe 8 inches below the pin. It's way up above the beach there. I don't know if you can see it from here with the GoPro sitting up on that rock. But usually the water's getting up, lapping up there. This is just insane to see this at this time of year. Okay, let's get over to the pin. Here we are at the pin. Those rocks out there that look like one big island, they're a bunch of little rocks that just stick out of the water normally. And sometimes you don't even see any of them. Certainly, if you were wanting to go to Fort George Canyon, this is the year. This is pretty impressive. You get to see the whole canyon, all the islands, the rocks. It's a good time to be here. Well, you never know what you're going to see up here. Sunning itself. Just about stepped on it. How cool is that? Just about ready to head back. Saw that little snake, so I had to get some video of that. So we'll take one last look around. Maybe get a video of their picture of that snake, and then we'll get on our way. Okay, we're up on the escarpment. and our way back to the vehicle. I just talked to a family is down here for their first time, and they loved it. It's perfect. It's the best conditions you're ever going to see down here. Just about to make the last descent back up to the bench in the river, and then we'll be on relatively flat ground the rest of the way. Okay, we're back to the bench. So from here back to the vehicle is reasonably flat, so to speak. A little hill here and there, but nothing of any consequence. Coming out in the afternoon sun is always cool. See lots of shadows. Looks so much more interesting than it does either in dark or full light. Just popping back out to the clearing now, so put us 10 minutes from the vehicle, I would guess. Been a good day. Nice and warm. Too warm at points. No wind, no rain. Beautiful day. Our last boardwalk before home. Winding yellow brick road. Which makes it simple to walk along here now. Okay, back to the trailhead. It was a quick trip out, and was a good day. We'll be able to put together a track for those people who want to go. And there's a little cell service out here, and I got a call that I can drop this green ugly off and pick up my own vehicle. So quite the day.
To find Fort George Canyon, you head east on Highway 16, and from Demano Boulevard to the Blackwater Road is roughly 6 kilometers. At the Blackwater Road, you will turn left towards West Lake, and you will follow it to West Lake Road, where you'll turn left again. That's approximately 11.5 kilometers. You will follow West Lake Road past the wreck site, and continue on to where the pavement turns to gravel. That is approximately 6.5 kilometers. A further approximately 3.5 kilometers, you will take a left. There's signage there, and that's the trail that you will take down to Fort George Canyon Trailhead. It is approximately 3.5 kilometers on this road to get to the trailhead. Thanks for coming on this local to Prince George trek with me to Fort George Canyon. I hope the information helps you to find your way there if you haven't been there before. This little area is well worth the visit, and if you're new to Prince George, it's one of our gems. This is a child-friendly trail down to the river. Very beautiful down there. But of course, one must take care down there with children near the river. The river is fast when you get out to the water. With all the new boardwalks out there, most of the slippery sections are gone, so that's one less thing you need to worry about. As I said in past videos, Mark and I are working on trying to document all the local trails, and hopefully we will get the majority of them done this year. So do come back and join us on the next one. The next one will be a mountain adventure. Headed out tomorrow to get to the high country, hopefully. Thanks again for coming along, and we'll see you on the next one.